Hello, you are listening to the New England Haunts Podcast, Episode 5, my 2022 visit to Evidence of Evil in Middlefield, Connecticut. I am your host, Hallowoosh. It is March of 2023, and with me as always is my fabulous friend, Noob.
Hey! How you doing? Thank you for having me. This is going to be, as always, a great episode with my boy Whoosh.
I'm your little boy. All right, let's get right into this. So second weekend of October 2022 brought me back to Evidence of Evil at Lyman Orchards in Middlefield, Connecticut, about 30 minutes south of Hartford. Last time I saw these guys was in 2018, and I think they started in 2017. But the owners, Robert Bassad Jr. and David Bellas, did a decade of haunt work with the haunted graveyard at Lake Compounce in Connecticut before they went off and did this thing. And I remember being really excited to try them out because they had this little element to them. A lot of mysterious and obscure marketing, like videos that were just like sounds. And it just felt like something special. So I think I didn't have the time to see them in 2017, but I do remember driving by their setup. See, they first went to Crystal Bees in Southington, Connecticut, not even 10-minute drive from Lake Compounce. And I guess one of the haunt guys is a manager of that place too. Oh, wait, no, I keep forgetting. They actually started out, I'm pretty sure, as a horror escape room called The Chamber. And I think they debuted in the summer of 2016. They went to a few different horror convention shows and stuff like that. And I think they made their way to Crystal Bees in 2017, and it was still the escape room. And I got this thing in the back of my head saying that they were a mobile escape room because I get this faint memory of some stuff that they were posting, like look for new dates and locations, or reach out and we'll come to your event, stuff like that. But I can't find anything online that officially confirms that, so it might have been just a quick room setup or something like that. And then in 2018 was the year that they built the actual haunt outside of Crystal Bees, I think. I'm pretty sure. Crystal Bees is pretty much a bowling alley, an arcade, a music venue, bar. I didn't know that before I showed up, but I remember pulling into the parking area in the middle of the day and seeing the main building. It looks like a storage facility from the entrance, anyway. And there's this long wooden black thing that kind of looked like a 2 or 3 makeshift spray-painted long dumpsters to me. Still assuming that the attraction was inside the building, so I parked and walked in and was like, this is not a haunted house. And I thought maybe it's closed off in one of the corners of this place or something. Nope. Well, maybe that weird thing out in the parking lot is like the entrance to the attraction, and they take you from there into the basement of this place or something. Nope. Started to realize that this haunt was really tickling my curiosity with all these creative, creepy vibes and marketing. It was literally this 50 to 60 foot black panel thing out there, and it was very weird and disappointing to me. Because most of the time you never see the back parts of the walls of a haunt. You're not supposed to. It's like seeing the magician's trick because you're watching from the side or behind them. And you can see exactly how big this thing is, too. So I'm like looking at this, like I'm going to walk through this thing in less than a minute.
Right.
So I was a little glad that I didn't waste my time there. A year passed, and people were talking about how great it was, how interactive it was, how theatrical it was. And they started talking about putting hoods on people, and you get a complimentary $5 gift card to the bar or whatever in Crystal Bees. So I said I had to go check it out.
Yeah.
If anything, I could easily check out Haunted Graveyard right up the road from this place on the same night, so it wouldn't be a total loss. And I remember telling you about the hoods. Remember I was telling you?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I wasn't that grossed out by it, but then we got there and I saw the owner was carrying a sack of used ones and a can of Lysol. And I was like, oh, dude, come on. You know?
Yeah.
I didn't think for a second that they would just be reusing the damn things. Not even like once over, right? Like, looked like every group was wearing the same ones.
Right.
And you're just huffing this Lysol with this stupid thing on. The girlfriend didn't know that was a thing either, and she was annoying the living shit out of me with questions that I didn't have the answers to. Because the owner ran back and forth with the group, so there wasn't really any stopping him to ask him what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
There was problems with the ticket system and the time slots, and he came out and apologized to everyone for admitting that he was not prepared for the amount of people that showed up that night. It was just a big mess. And I'm bothered enough by the inorganization and the stupid Lysol and the fact that you start inside this big arcade bar bowling alley with all these sounds and crap. Girlfriend is just staring at the side of my face like my cheeks are about to burn off. Like it was my responsibility to track down this guy who's flustered as hell and ask him if she absolutely needs to wear the stupid hood. And I'm trying to calm her down, and I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. Sure enough, I finally see the guy, and I'm diving into his conversation circle with all these other people who have the same goddamn question. Trying to get the bartender's attention for a drink. And he starts telling everybody, well, I mean, the hoods really make it the whole experience, you know? You're not going to get the same feeling that we're trying to give you if you don't wear them. But people were, like, mad and adamant about it. I'm not wearing that goddamn thing with someone else's cough and whatever the hell else they did in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you don't understand. Look, I sprayed Lysol in them between you, so it's all fine. And everybody's like, what the hell? You got problems, guy. so people just refused. Go, sorry.
So the hoods, what kind of like fabric were these like?
Like
what were they like?
Like real cheap felt, if anything.
So could they? So this was this a side piece of the haunt, or this was the main haunt?
This was the haunt, yeah.
You know, the suggestion of that is like it's expensive, but you could just add it to the price of the ticket if they're cheap enough. Is everyone just gets your own hood?
That would be, yeah. No, like,
but just add it on. I mean, it depends on how expensive it is. You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the material of the hoods that he used were obviously cheap enough. I don't know.
You could get cheaper hoods too.
But yeah, that's exactly. You could get. It doesn't matter what the fabric is, so long as they can't.
And you can even sell it as a collector's item, like get the actual name of the haunt printed on the hood or something, and that would be like a collector's thing.
Absolutely. Freaking Haunted Labyrinth back in the pandemic had the face mask for sale. They had Haunted Labyrinth on it. Nice. And I think you got one. Did you? There was somewhere that freaking handed them out for free, and they made them. Mm-hmm. There must have been a few haunts that did that. So anyways, so the people just refused it, and then they tucked their heads into their shirts or something. And most people did the hoods because you're told that it's a big factor to the story.
Right.
And all it was they hood you, they line you up, they put your hand on the shoulder of the person in front of you and walk you through the arcade and outside. And every single time anyone needs to stop walking, you'd accidentally kick the heel of the person in front of you and get kicked by the person behind you. And we walked through the arcade with all these people having like a good laugh and all these sounds and lights and music and all this crap. And then we were outside walking to the entrance of this place, and some idiot starts up a chainsaw. Now we have to smell all that fumes right in our faces. And
did you have the hood on?
Yeah, but it's not like it was like blocking it from anything.
No, I was just saying, did you agree to it? I was just wondering if you agreed.
Oh yeah. I put the hood on. Yeah. And it seems like the entire cast of the place, which was maybe like 6 or 8 people, all making weird haunted house character noises around us in these hoods. And we finally go into the damn thing, and they take off our hoods, hoods didn't make anything better at all. I was really pissed. By the way, that was the front of the building. So anyone parking there was seeing exactly what we were doing. So the thing was interactive, though I couldn't really follow any story. Everything seemed kind of pointless and cheesy to me. It had something to do with like summoning the devil to life or something like that. In fact, one of the review teams from the Scare Factor went to the place in 2018, and this is what they had to say about the theme.
Well, it's certainly consistent and on point. These guys know this environment and satanic elements are throughout the house, giving an exorcist comes to life feel to the place. It's dark. It's ritualistic in the way of movies like The Witch, where you walk out unsure of what you just experienced. Basically, they nailed the theme.
I don't really know what he was trying to say. It's like, well, the theme is there, but you walk out like, what was that? I don't know. Seems like that's what he said to me.
Yeah.
Thing that made the whole thing even worse, though, was that you started off in one room with one actor. They did their spiel, you move on to the next room, and so on.
Oh, okay.
And with each new room, it was like the actors from before were moving with you till you get to the next room. And they're all there screaming about something, and you can't hear a goddamn thing, but you know that they're trying to summon the devil. Finally, they all shut up, and the devil comes out of a box or something. And it's some shiny dude in this skin-tight spandex costume, and he's like, I'm free at last. And I wanted to bawl out laughing at how cringe it was. And I think like 2 seconds later we were done, and we just went back to the car, and I was just shaking my head.
Do they have anything on their website that says like what they are?
Oh, yeah. So this was the closest thing I could find. It's an answer to a question in their FAQ section. All right, Abraham, do your job.
You will not be walking through our show like a typical haunted house. You will be asked to participate in scenes. This can range from chanting along with actors, moving objects, or finding a key element to move on to the next scene. Some may find the environment be physically demanding, as some guests may need to crawl, touch items within the haunt, and find themselves victim to a variety of scares. Be prepared for anything.
Be prepared for anything.
Anything.
That's saying a lot.
It is. Too much.
They're covering their ass on that one. Be prepared for
anything. Big cactus right up the bunghole. Be prepared.
Prepare your anus.
So gross. I will say that I'm glad that they actually have actors that really get into it. A more interactive experience, somewhat story-based. Those seem to be rare characteristics in most haunts.
Right.
So I know it's not really right for me to be so critical of a place that does that. It's two ways of looking at everything, though. This is the great reviewer dilemma. It's like, should you judge a place based on what you think they are trying to aim for, and therefore judging them based on what you think that particular vision is supposed to look like? Or do you just try to realize how much work and effort went into a place and enjoy it for what it is, like 99.999% of the rest of the people do?
Right.
You know, I've always been more conflicted with that. Someday I'll do an episode about being a reviewer, but I guess I just wanted to say that as much as the place left a bad taste in my mouth, I'm cognizant enough to know that not all the efforts they put in deserve my harshness.
Did you just use the word cognizant?
Yeah, I'm getting wicked smart, kid.
I have something else to add to that.
Okay.
I think the thing with this podcast, I think you'll agree with this, but people should know about this podcast is a lot of it's constructive criticism.
Yes.
If you're tearing apart something, it's like, we want this to be better. It's like little things like that, like it's not like we're shitting on this place. Okay, don't go to this place, guys, especially you have gone to so many places. It's like, this is what can be better, and this is what I think, it could be improved upon.
Yeah, I want to be blunt, I guess, in my own words. Not because I hate the place and I hope they suffer and crash and burn. No, I just want them, just to hear some words from a guy like me. It might not be the same views as most people have, and then fine, don't listen to me. Whatever. If you think you're doing well and you're having a good time, then screw the hell what I think. I'm just saying what I think might help make a place better.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with constructive criticism, and if you can't take that, then, you gotta look at it like that, like, okay, this guy thinks, we can improve on this. If you don't agree with it, it's fine, but it's not like, we're shitting on the place.
I've been saying it for a long time. Even when I did the horror movie reviews, like, I had the same feeling. It's like, I'm not telling you don't watch this movie. I would never say that.
Yeah.
That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is how I felt about it.
Right.
But you go watch it. I want you to watch it. I don't care what it is. I want you to go to the haunt. I don't care where it is, or, well, I shouldn't say that. There might be some places that I would say don't. It has nothing to do with, like, the quality. It's going to have something to do more with, like, the personality there or something like that. So,
yeah,
and plus, I'm not intending these comments to solely reflect on one particular haunt or any business. I think a lot of people could just listen and think, not about how the place is doing in my eyes. Think more about how, like, imagine if it was your place. Like, do you do something similar, or do you even do the exact same thing? Or were you thinking about doing something like this at your haunt? Or is this something that you may have never even considered, but it could be beneficial in any way?
Yeah.
This isn't some stupid opinionated attack on one place, regardless of how much today's culture has taught you to be a triggered little snowflake about everything. This is meant to help. It's meant to help anyone listening, even guests.
Right.
Like maybe this is the stuff you should be looking out for when you go to these places if you're going to have an opinion about them. Anyways.
Yeah, but as far as you go, I wouldn't mind too much, because a lot of what you do, you're just kind of like looking at it from that perspective, like,
right.
Yeah, because a lot of, like, especially like newer places, like, they've got so much going on, and they, like the bag thing, like little, like nitpick, like the hood thing, like just like little nitpicks like that, like they might have like shit, we didn't think about that, but all right, he's good,
Well, that was a long time ago, and I don't think they've done the hood thing since. They definitely can't now.
So that was all just from 2017?
Yeah, I just wanted to lay the groundwork, I guess, before I jump into 2022. I did take a peek in 2018 or 2019, just did another drive-by, wishing and hoping they expanded in some way. Mm-hmm. And it was still the same long black wooden box in the parking lot, so I just gave up. And in 2021, they announced that they were moving to Lyman Orchards.
Right.
I was in the area. I stopped to see if I could get a ticket. This was the year after COVID, so most places, including them, started doing this purchase online only and limited tickets a night, so I couldn't go.
Yeah.
Wasn't too sure about it anyway, because to me it seriously looked like all they did was pick up that long black box and put it out on the outskirts of the woods. I didn't know for sure, but I was trying to take it easy at least that year anyway.
You were in the area?
Yeah, I was down there for another haunt that night. He called it the Monster Hunt CT. It was sort of an interactive hayride experience. It only lasted one season, though.
An interactive hayride experience.
Yeah.
Like, how was it? Like, because I know a lot of hayrides, like, you'll get an actor, like, jump on the the trailer with you guys and stuff? Is it more like that?
Yeah,
or?
no, not like that. It was, it had potential. The idea there was, essentially, you go on a wagon and this hillbilly type character acted like he needed everyone's help hunting down some monsters. And maybe we'll do an episode about that one sometime. But pretty much the ride went all over the property with this guy cracking this like hillbilly type humor. And every once in a while there was like a set or a scene where the guy or the guests would do stuff to hunt down these monsters. It was a fun idea. I don't know what happened, why it only lasted 1 year, but we'll talk about it someday.
Huh. Sounds pretty cool.
Yep. So this year I saw there was going to be another brand new haunted attraction opening up at Powder Ridge in Middlefield. Like a 2-minute drive from Evidence of Evil. And it was kind of like an obvious moment to me. I wanted to go see the new haunt at a ski hill. Might as well go see what Evidence of Evil is up to while I'm right there.
Right.
Not sure if there's any bad blood there. This attraction at Powder Ridge is called Haunting at the Ridge. But I think it's actually the guys who used to do Haunted Graveyard, because Haunted Graveyard's not there anymore. And the two guys from Evidence of Evil were originally from Haunted Graveyard too.
Right.
And they closed in 2019. Apparently, the team opened up another haunt in another amusement park in 2021 called Terror on the Quasi. It was at the Quasi Amusement and Water Park. They're still there, but this other troupe moved in right next door to Evidence of Evil.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, are you cool with each other or what?
You think they purposely got that spot next to Evidence just to compete?
I have no real reason to think that. It's just weird.
Yeah. So what do you think about haunts being closer together? Do you think they would want that?
Certain types, but not necessarily.
You know, so you can go to like as many as possible because they're right there. Like, oh,
Right.
let's make it like a night out of this. Let's go to a few different spots.
Yeah, but that's just for people like me. It's not, maybe that's changing too. But most people, I think, just pick one.
Yeah.
The bigger issue is that this one at the ski hill has sort of made it so that people can stick around for a while and make a night of it.
Yeah.
So anyways, this new haunt is part of the reason I put Evidence of Evil on the calendar this year. It wasn't the only reason, but people kept talking about Evidence like it's really good. And they were in this new spot and all that stuff. And this place that they're at now, it's Lyman Orchards, is huge. It's like practically a whole quarter of the town.
Yeah.
They have a golf course, a sunflower maze, giant apple orchard, obviously. And they also do all kinds of berries. They got a restaurant, a nice country store, all kinds of events. They even had a Taylor Swift themed brunch for some goddamn reason.
If you're a self-proclaimed Swiftie, bring yourself to the 1741 Pub and Grill on Sunday, January 8th for a Swiftie brunch. Feast on a day-themed brunch menu including fearless French toast, while you and your pals enjoy a curated Taylor Swift playlist with DJ Stardust.
You know what? I'm done. I don't want to talk about this place anymore.
So how was it?
Oh, you bastard. It was good. I had the Shake It Off pancakes,
Oh, yeah.
the Tay-Tay tater tots, Bad Bludge sausage. Oh, gross. I guess they've just recently been doing some murder mystery dinner events at that restaurant, too. They call it the Cunningham Conundrum. It's, the 1741 Pub is like this old fieldstone house. Cool setting for stuff like that. And speaking of 1741, here's my beer appreciation, beer recognition for this episode. This is Lyman Orchards 1741 hard apple cider, unfiltered.
Do they have their own like cidery or like brewery there, or do they have someone make that for them?
Packaged by Lyman Orchard cider manufacturer. Yeah, I guess they do brew it. Yeah. It's an orchard.
Yeah.
I know that this hard cider is not their main seller, but it's a lot of regular cider.
Huh.
But this is good. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out. I picked this up at a place called Total Wine and More in Manchester, Connecticut, and wow, that place is awesome.
Oh yeah.
I know we were talking about Total Wine and More a little bit because they're all over the country, and I even have a couple more up in Massachusetts. But the one in Manchester, it looks tiny from outside, but once you get in there, they are so clean and organized with tons of stuff all over the place. They have a whole aisle that's just like single craft beers that you can pick from, a whole nother aisle that's like all Connecticut stuff. It's just, wow. I was really impressed.
Yeah, it's good.
So, big shout out to them. Really good. I haven't been to all of them, but I'm sure some of them are just as clean and nifty looking. But that one was good. So, here we go.
Yeah.
1741. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh, sweet. I'm not tasting the alcohol, though. Hold on a second.
That can be a good or bad thing, depending on what you like.
Yeah. Oh, there. Okay, a little bit. I'm trying to find the percentage. I like this can. It's really. It's got an old picture of some 1800s. These guys picking apples.
Yeah.
All over the place. Oh, there it is. 3.5. Okay, yeah, that's pretty small. This is like apple juice. This is like barely fermenting apple juice. A little too easy to drink.
I mean, that's somewhere around like a Bud Light or.
It's also unfiltered. Is that a problem?
I don't think so.
Okay. That was good. That was a good one. I like that one. All right. So I didn't know where exactly this haunt was going to be. I kind of naturally assumed that it was going to be near their country store because that's where all the activity is. But there was nothing there that looked anything like a haunt. There was no signs or anything. I looked at the website and it kind of has a small map, but no exact address. Nothing written anywhere telling people where they are specifically located. I look on Facebook, and there they do have an address, but it's like to one of the barns of Lyman's on the other side of the property. And the place is actually right across the street from there, and you can't miss it once you're on that road. But it's still kind of like, just freaking put an address on your webpage or anyway, like how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So I get there a bit early this last year, and already there's a line of people. And they had this little pop-up stupid booth tent thing with some purple string lights and cheap spiderweb crap. Two girls are sitting at the table just yapping away at each other like they're at a sleepover. And for no good reason at all, one of them finally stands up with a megaphone and tells everybody to take a few steps back. Apparently they do a metal scan wand on everybody, and she believes it has to happen at a very particular line in the dirt. And again, no reason her and her friend let people line up past that point anyway in the first place.
Right.
They were there when people started lining up. It's like, why didn't you tell the first people, can you just scoot back a couple steps? Nope, you had to wait till now.
That's good that they had that metal scan, though.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it makes you feel better, I guess.
Then once everybody looks like they're cooperated, she tells everybody there's no cell phones allowed in the haunt, so please bring them back to your car.
Oh, God.
There's no signs posted anywhere that this was going to happen. Nothing written anywhere. I've never bumped into a haunt except for Headless Horsemen who deliberately told customers to go back to their cars and leave their cell phones in there. I'm not as mad at the rule as I am about the fact that there was no signage about it. But I was all alone, so I couldn't run back to my car and then come back to my spot in the line. Nobody would save it for me. And I wasn't going to do that either. So I didn't want to leave my phone in, so I just kind of held it out in my hand as they scanned the rest of my body. They didn't give a shit, so we just kept going. It's even more stupid because if it's like a we don't want people to see what's inside before they pay kind of deal. They have news reporters going through all the time, posting it on YouTube and Facebook. It's just like you've already kind of spoiled the whole thing. Every year they do this.
Right.
So I go up to this castle sort of looking facade, I think. It reminds me a lot of the way that the haunted graveyard actually was set up. And a guy comes around with this bottle of hand sanitizer and makes everyone take a little dollop in their hand. Everyone. It made no sense. No other haunt I went to since 2020 made anybody do that. In fact, there was only one place in 2020 that made anybody do that.
And that's this place.
No, that was actually a Trail of Terror. But no, I didn't go to this place in 2020. So actually, did they even do a 2020? I forget. Doesn't matter. I remember a lot of nothingness happening for a while after we went in, until we finally stopped by this like bee-looking character, I think. So this was one of the interactive parts of the haunt. If there is one thing I can appreciate about this place, it's that it sticks to the interactive stuff where you have to do something in order to leave. What I can't stand is that these things you have to do are usually only done by one person. And it doesn't matter if you do it right or not, you still get out. You know, just like escape rooms. You know, most of them it's like, you win, you get to go home. You lose, you get to go home. You know, there isn't much of an award, you know?
Right.
But what we get in these little rooms, usually you have to find a key, but it only makes one person in your group find it. One of them was like a syringe and a bubbling cauldron and a key inside the beehive, ropes to pull on, which, you know, opens up a door, a key lost in an old study, and because they ran out of ideas, they did Pictionary for some freaking weird-ass reason.
Wait, so what was the Pictionary thing all about? What did that entail?
It was like, you know, in order for you to get through this door, you two play Pictionary.
Seriously?
So, like, one kid had, like, a marker on the wall, and the other one was, like, guessing what he was drawing. And it was like, if you guess it, you get to go. If you don't guess it, you get to go.
So was there, like, an actor inside there? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And they were like, this is what you have to do. Okay. If we don't do it, what happens? Well, you get to go.
That kind of, I don't know. That would take me out of it a little bit. Like, Pictionary inside of a haunt.
It definitely, I mean, like, I was already out before that, but yeah. It's just... oh, and they put more sanitizer in your hands halfway through the haunt.
Oh my god.
So and they had to be in character, which was funny as hell. So it was like this evil monster comes out of nowhere, like, here's your hand sanitizer. And also, not to mention, this is 100% their choice.
Yeah.
There's a big popular Apple Barn type store down the street that takes in thousands of people a day. Cafeteria style food, kids running all over the place, touching anything. You know, no hand sanitizer. and just like the Lysol hoods that they had before, they're just trying to put as much disinfectant crap on you as possible. And it's alarming.
So you guys touching, like the Pictionary thing, I guess you got to touch like the marker and stuff, but other than that, like, were you guys people touching a lot of stuff throughout the haunt?
Not really. Like I said, it was one person that had to do a thing at a time, and they might have went and grabbed that key or grabbed the syringe. The only thing where like everybody had to work was like pulling on the ropes.
This thing is obviously because of COVID.
I don't know that. I haven't sat down and talked with them. Maybe they just think that that's the most safe thing to do all the time.
And pretty much everyone knows now that there's no transmission of COVID through touching.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I don't know if they're actually doing this because of COVID. Because also, I mean, like, if they were really still concerned about that, there's no mask requirement. There's nothing saying that we really would like you to. The girls on the megaphone could have stood up and said, "Everybody cover your mouth," but she didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the mask.
There was a lot of other things that they could have done if they were really still affected by that stuff. So It's just, like I said, to me, it just seems like they're trying to put chemicals on you. They tried to do it with the Lysol, and now they're doing it with the hand sanitizer.
But you can't take, like, if you're running a haunt, you can't take people out of that mindset with this crap. Like,
well, this is part of the reason why I'm kind of criticizing these guys. This is why I'm doing this.
even, I mean, I understand that if it is a COVID thing, mask would be the more, even you can argue about the effectiveness of mask, but that's going to be more effective than stupid fucking hand sanitizer.
Yep.
So
I don't know. It's I like that it's interactive, but it needs to be interactive for everyone, not just one person at a time, right? And I remember walking out of the exit and past the waiting line, and there's one of the owners with the Evidence of Evil hoodie and black streaks across his face, like he's supposed to be acting or something. And he's chatting it up with these people like they're all buddies, and maybe they were. I wouldn't do it in the queue line.
right.
He turns around and asks everyone coming out, "Did you have fun? Was it fun? Did you like it?" And that is my number one pet peeve in haunts.
That's the number one, really?
Number one, yes. When an owner or an actor asks me questions, they are going to do nothing with the answer. People are nervous going in, and they're supposed to be a bit shooken up coming out, and then here's this guy, "Hi guys, did you have fun in the haunted house? Was it a great time? Time for ice cream, hop in, let's go." But you get the idea. He stands there, "Thanks so much for coming out, really appreciate it. Drive home safe, bye-bye." It's the end of a stand-up comedy bit, right? And it just sucks the haunt world right out of you.
Yeah.
That's the thing that kills it the most. And he addresses everyone in the group I went with. Like they all say, "It was great, a lot of fun, haha, whatever." And he says, "Thank you and have a great night," looks directly at me again and goes, "Did you have a good time?" And all I can do is stare back with boiling blood like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it sounds super innocent for a guy to ask if I liked it. It usually is."
Yeah.
It's just that I know that these guys have been widely judged and criticized for years, and it's like they don't take anything into consideration.
Right.
So if I was honest with them, I would say,
yeah,
it was okay, I guess. I feel like the response would be, "Well, too bad you feel that way, but I obviously know more than you, so shut up and go home." And to be standing in front of everyone waiting to go in half-assed makeup, looking for criticism on your attraction in a spot where people haven't gone through yet, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's true.
But in 100% honesty, I know that it all sounds like I hated the place, but it's definitely gotten better since 2017. It's like a 20-25 minute journey. They do have aspects that I appreciate. I just, something irks me about them. And you know what it comes down to? They got out of Haunted Graveyard and made this little tiny thing. The news covers them. They are on record stating that they want to do something crazy that no one else has ever done before, and all this weird type marketing. They even had this weird thing last year, I think, where you could call into some random number, and a few days later you would get this voicemail that sounds like some weird-ass last breaths of a dying alien on a cassette tape or something like that.
That's unique.
They do all this stuff to talk it up and make it look like such a unique, standout place, and it kind of feels insulting to the other places that have their shit together, And it's like, no, you guys are not as important as you think you are. If they never said or did any of that "we are better" type stuff, I would have so much more appreciation for them.
Right.
All right, and now it's time for a review roundup. This is where I expose a few good and not so good reviews of the attraction via Google, Facebook, Yelp, TripAdvisor, wherever I can find them.
The following voices are not the actual voices of the original content providers.
Okay, I feel like I didn't have enough to say about this place, so we're just going to do more of these reviews than usual. These ones are all from Google. Let's start with Maria Miller, 2 stars from the 2022 season.
I had an okay experience. Just was completely not what I expected. I booked and prepaid tickets for 9 to 10 time frame. I arrived at 9:04 and waited in line for 55 minutes. They have a few people with makeup on and props walking through the crowds, but nothing really exciting like other places I've been. You enter the small scene and instead of getting to enjoy the scene and the scare, you kinda have to listen close to what they're saying to do to get out of the scene. Which was confusing because they tell you to look and touch things to get out of the scene, but then yell at you not to touch props. Once you are at the end, you're kind of just confused and left hanging when it's over. Would not recommend for anyone over 13 to 15. Line was very long and the entire experience takes 15 to 20 minutes to get through. If you're an adult, just donate the money.
Okay. Yep. Again, with the time ticket stuff, most haunt people are going to be the same way they've been always with that waiting stuff.
Yeah.
Just, hey, it is what it is. Now shut up and stop being such a little bitch. I've always hated that attitude that these people have. I get it, though, because hardly anyone that goes pro is thinking, how can I make the customers so comfortable and give them everything that they want? No, it's, here's the rope and chains. Wouldn't have to do this shit if people weren't such assholes, And then they are running all over the place at night, fixing issues, dealing with the actual scumbags. They've gotten close to none sleep since September started. They're trying to get as many people through the haunt as possible without ruining the whole show for them. And here comes customer 857 to say, will you guys hurry up? Yeah, I would snap too. But the absolute best places are the ones that do take the wait into consideration and they provide entertainment.
Yeah.
And then she goes into talking about how the queue line actors and how it's just people walking up and down the line, not actually providing entertainment. You see that a lot.
Yeah.
And I barely pay attention to them. I don't quite remember everything the same way she does, but I did go through before it got completely dark. So my experience might have been a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm thinking about it, I feel the whole attraction was actually super dark. Not a lot of light at all.
Yeah.
But the dusk time probably helped with that a little bit. I was just thinking. Mm. She is right. There wasn't much of a finish. Not much scares. Or just kind of guessing what to do and being wrong all the time.
Mm-hmm. Most people don't realize, like, for a haunt, you need to look at it like an amusement park ride or something. Like, especially like Disney and stuff like that. You're going to be waiting in a line for, a ride. So think of this as like, an attraction, a ride. There's going to be a line,
I wish people would look at it like that, but people are people.
I mean, it sucks, but...
So, alright, here's an interesting one. We have Ange, or maybe it's just the initials, ANG, I don't know. But 2 stars from the 2022 season.
We arrived at about 9:15. In line with everyone that was around us, they came up to us saying not to smoke. When we don't smoke at all, which was weird. Then when we were in the walkthrough, they pulled my boyfriend and the other male in the group aside asking if anyone was drinking and they would take us out of the experience. I just thought it was really weird comparing to the other locally owned Connecticut haunted experiences we have went to. They have all been very inviting, asking for feedback and appreciating our business. I just received a different experience coming from here. I'm hoping for them to elevate in their future experience for the years to come and to be able to take constructive feedback. Other than that, it was a fun concept and I felt involved in most of the walkthrough.
This lady loves the word experience. And hey, I'm all for letting haunt owners and actors violently kicking out drunks, drinkers, and smokers of all kinds if they can't help get through an hour or two without needing something. If you have an addiction problem, don't make it everyone else's problem and act like nobody has a right to be mad at you for being the way that you are.
Right.
But going from group to group and start accusing everyone during the haunt, too, that ain't right.
Right.
And apparently, according to Ange, that's what they did, which was very strange. So, I'll look at this next review. It's going hand in hand with this. Joanna K., 2 stars from the 2022 season.
Would get a higher review if we weren't stuck with drunk people and people doing drugs in the line. We got grouped with 3 other nice people. Then a male actor asked me and some other girl in our group to look for a key and accuses this young girl of touching him. She said I didn't mean to bump into you, it's a small room. He threatened to kick us out. Legit screen people before they work for you even if it's a volunteer, because 2 young females wouldn't purposely touch your actor that you've isolated from the rest of the group. Glad the money goes to a good cause. Also, I tried to tell your volunteer workers at the exit, but 2 of them just walked away, and the other one was just trying to respectfully listen to me. Like literally, oh my god, like totally yells.
What? Is that really a real review?
No, I took some creative liberties with that one.
Okay. I was going to say.
Just that last part, though. But again, with this accusatory power trips here, huh?
Yep. I mean, with all the stuff, with the hand sanitizer, all this other crap, it's like this place has like an authoritative like power trip issue, and also a big issue with taking people out of the experience.
Exactly.
It's like really bad, it sounds like.
I will say, though, in the actor's defense, though, maybe not particularly this one, but damn, it can be mentally draining and tiring and extremely irritating for some of the regular stuff that customers do. It takes extremely little to piss off these people. Doesn't make it okay, it's just these are real people putting themselves through a torturous night, and the vast majority of the people they have to entertain all have their moron switch turned on. Okay, and we got Richie Santiago with 1 star from 2022.
To be honest, this is a $5 attraction, maybe 10 at best. It's not scary. It focuses on having you interact with the actors, but just for time consumption. After all the stops to listen to the actor talk, there is no scare at all. They barely have workers, and for the amount of money being scammed, they should pay the so-called volunteers. Shaking my head, horrible. Nightmare Acres way better.
You know what? I pretty much agree with everything this guy says, except the $5 part. Nah, this place is bare minimum $15. I think $20 is good.
How much is it?
It's $25.
Oh, okay.
So $1 a minute, not bad. But again, there's a few spots where the actors tell you to stop and wait while a group in front of you is finishing up an activity. So maybe I should shave off a couple minutes because of that. What do you think?
I mean, as far as the price?
Well, because it's usually $1 a minute value for these things. Like, that's what you want to aim for. So like I said, it's about 20-25 minute attraction, but almost before every single activity scene, the actors are telling you just wait here for a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could easily shave off at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then with me, like I already mentioned, like taking people out of the experience and all the rules and authoritative shit, that kind of brings it down for me too, as far as what I think a place would be worth.
Well, that's why I would say that it's bare minimum $15.
Yeah,
$20 might be okay, but yeah, I don't usually judge. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that. Like if they're not doing that great of a job, then it should be less money. It's just that they should be doing better.
Yeah, I mean, but for that experience, like just that year I went or that time I went, what I expect it should be worth that time, you know.
Maybe. All right, and this one bugs the crap out of me. This is Michelle Manzione, 5 stars from the 2018 season. So this was when they were back at Crystal Bees.
From traveling all over New England for the best haunted house experience, I truly believe this is it. For one, I love the location. While you wait, you can enjoy playing arcade games, bowling, or grabbing a few snacks and drinks at the bar. Staff is very clear on instructions and safety before you begin. I love how they let us inside, and the actors surrounding us were really involved. You could tell they loved what they did and were very convincing. They added to the suspense, and the set design really set the mood. They pay attention to every little detail, making it feel as real as you can get without crossing any lines. All the workers there are passionate about what they do, and if I could I would give higher than a 5-star rating. Thank you Evidence of Evil for a Halloween experience I will never forget.
Oh, God. Sounds innocent enough, right? Well, noobs, what did she do wrong?
That she travels all over New England.
She said she travels all over New England for haunted houses. Gross. Well, if she travels all over, let's see where else she's written a review for. Oh, look, she's a local guide. Level 5. I don't know what that even means. I'm not even sure what local guide means either. So you click on her name, and the map shows the southeast of the country. It doesn't look very local to me. There's no photos at all. Thanks, Michelle. 42 reviews, and didn't even bother to take a picture of anything. Level 5, my ass. And then you click on the reviews, and it's all these random places across the country. Nothing looking local at all. Well, she said she travels all over New England for haunts, right? Let's take a look. No, doesn't look like all over New England to me, but what do we got? Westview Farms Creamery. Nope, not a haunt. Wood and Tap Grill. Nope. Still no haunts. The Kensington Auto Service and Schaller Subaru. The only scary things there are the prices. I don't know that. They can be very affordable and nice. I don't know that. So no haunted house reviews other than Evidence of Evil.
Right.
And she travels all over New England for them?
Yeah.
And she's a level 5? Let's see if she did any other haunted houses in the country. The Spook Easy Lounge in Tampa. Oh, it's Halloween themed. Okay, whatever. The Mobile Diesel Repair. A coffee shop. A coffee house. A chiropractor. A park. A bakery. Another bar. Pizza. Another coffee house. Jiu-jitsu. A vet. Another bar. A hotel. More jiu-jitsu. No haunts.
The thing could be is, what if she just didn't do all of her haunt reviews on Google?
Oh, like she posted more on Facebook?
Yeah.
No! You know what she did? She reviewed Evidence of Evil in 2017, a year before this review she put on Google. And this is what she had to say then.
For 5 minutes, you think it's not worth it. Yet, it felt like an eternity in chaos and fear. Longest 5 minutes of my life. Very intense and exciting. Especially the introduction to the game was out of this world. I highly recommend. A perfect outing for Halloween night.
Now, why the hell didn't she talk about how she goes all over New England looking for haunts in this review?
'Cause she didn't?
Because she freaking didn't, noobs. She freaking didn't.
All right, calm down.
Sorry. Anyways, I'm trying to find some positive reviews that are like actual reviews, but you look at all of them, and it's all like this copy and paste bull crap and all this blah, blah, blah nothingness, except for Michelle's 2017 review. Look up the reviews on Facebook, and it's the same thing over and over. We had such a blast. Everyone was so much yay, so good, and the scares are wow, an amazing job. Interactive is yes. We'll be back. Fun times and scary moments and friends and wow. So, oh my God, wow, yay, amazing. Freaking on and on and on. Ugh.
But what are you trying to say? Like, sometimes you look at reviews on stuff and you're like, there's this like friends of like the owner just like writing like good stuff, like when it's generic stuff like that, you know.
They very well could be. I know it happens, but they have a lot of reviews. I don't think it's all from friends and family. Well, here's a bad one, even though they say they recommend it. This is Gina Torres in October 17th, 2022.
I do not recommend it. They speak.
Okay.
Wait, what did it? I don't recommend it. What did you say?
I don't
again?
recommend it. They speak. I guess some people are under the impression that haunt actors are supposed to shut their dirty little mouths. All right.
I can't.
And this is Lindsay Torres from November 2nd, 2022.
I know this is all volunteer based, and I think that's so great. Really, I do. But $25 a ticket was not worth this experience. Poor lighting in the parking area. Should have had donuts and cider and hot chocolate or coffee in a booth. Perfect opportunity to sell Lyman's products. The attraction itself was a whole lot of waiting here and waiting there, and then the trail was only 10 to 15 minutes total. Really disappointing.
Wow. Poor lighting. Yep. Having refreshments up front. I mean, you'd think it's easy, but really, that's like a full-time gig right there, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good idea, but you need to have someone make that their full-time job. Getting the stuff, cleaning the pots, cash on hand, stupid credit card gizmo thingy working.
Right.
You know, more electric cords, permits. It's not as easy as it sounds.
Right.
Remember, this place is not Lyman's. Lyman's is just letting them use a small portion of their property.
I mean, even they could still, it does take a lot, but as far as for them, the money, you know, having one person they can make from refreshments, you know, teaming with Lyman's, you know, that I don't necessarily disagree with that.
I just don't think that evidence would actually make any money from it. It would be all for Lyman. But Lyman would have to be the one to supply it.
Yeah, it is nice to have a few things like that, but it's not a determining factor whether I think the place was good or I'd give it a bad score or not. It'd just be a nice little addition, you know.
Yeah, I'm just saying about the reality of it is like Lyman would have to put a person there to do all of that stuff. They would have to pay somebody to be there and do all this, and it might make some money, not that much. Or Evidence of Evil would have to buy the product off of Lyman and then, you know, sell it for like however much more money. But then people would be like, what do you mean the cider donut costs $2? It's $1 at the store, but the store's not open. It's like stuff like that.
Right.
And oh look, Lindsay got a response from Ginny Torres, the lady who thinks everybody should shut up.
I do not recommend it. They speak a lot.
Wow. She really hates talking actors.
Is that real?
That's real. You can look that up. Good old Ginny Torres. All right, well, I'd say that's enough haunt bashing for one episode. I'll reiterate, it's not bad. You'll like it. It's just not as good as I think they are painting themselves out to be. And in my mind, that's worse than a haunt that's just plain bad. But you'll more than likely have a blast, so just do whatever you want. This is America, okay? Bye. Oh, wait! There's more! Since I have practically nothing to say about haunting on the ridge, let's just do it. All right, so let me just cover this place real quick because I didn't actually go to it. So I drive out of Evidence of Evil and pull into Powder Ridge. Tons of people there. Parking lot attendees that don't actually do their job, so I had to pull up to one of them and literally tell me where to park. Because it's not just the haunt there. There's a restaurant, there's a banquet hall. They have all these parking lot attendees for a reason. And it's a shame that they have to be a bunch of idiot kids who don't care about anything. So I park and I make my way over to what looks like their ski rental building where they have everyone lined up getting their tickets. I ask some dude standing outside of there who obviously works there, "Do you guys do any tickets at the door?" And he's like, oh no, sorry, you have to buy them online, and unfortunately we're all sold out for the evening. Yeah. I swear he was about to start pinching his nipples as he said that. But I just shook my head and walked out around and scoped the place out. And I had heard some reviews about this place before, and it seemed like they were getting really bad ones from people that I trust their opinion on this stuff too, not just randos. And people are lining up at the ski lift. It takes you to, I think, the top of the hill, and you walk your way down. And where people exit the attraction was kind of nice. They had this big fire pit. They had a bunch of Adirondack chairs for people to chill in. They had some food trucks, beer trucks, live music. That was all right. But it doesn't make up for what I'm seeing people post about this place. So, off of their website, Abraham, what's this place all about?
Are you brave enough to ride a chair lift up the mountain into the dark? There's no turning back. There's no escape. Get ready for the haunt of your life. Graveyard Productions brings its trademark thrills and chills to Powder Ridge Mountain Park Resort with this one-of-a-kind haunt that is not for the faint of heart. Your terrifying journey begins with a chair lift ride up the mountain through the darkness, where you'll catch glimpses of creatures below that travel the ridge at night. You'll descend the hill on foot, encountering all the mountain's mysteries. Be sure to stop by the campground. They love to welcome visitors. They may never want you to leave.
They really think this is a one-of-a-kind haunt?
Apparently.
Is it because of the ski lift?
Yeah, tell me about it. That bugged the crap out of me. There's a haunt 2 hours north from them that's been using a ski lift since 2012. 13 Nights at Jiminy. The Gulag used their lift from 2007 to 2015, I think. And both of those aren't ski hills. Those are mountains. There is no walking down the hill back to the parking lot. No, mountains. You're on a lift for like 10 freaking minutes in the pitch cold dark, fully knowing there's like bears and wolves beneath you. There's a good like 8 minutes there where nobody is hearing you scream. Powder Ridge is only like 720 feet tall. You know, both Cranmore and Jiminy are above 2,000. Mm-hmm. The ski lift ride alone is freaking scary.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of other places in the country that do a lift too. There's Terror at Tyrol in Wisconsin, the Sundance Halloween lift ride in Utah, the Hill Has Eyes near Milwaukee, Halloween at Homewood Mountain on Lake Tahoe. This is just me doing a simple search on Google, for crying out loud. Looks like Wolf Creek in Colorado might do something. Spring Mountain near Philly. Okay, I made my point. So, anywho, I figured I'd walk around a little bit and scope it out while I was there. A lot of people bunched together waiting to get it on the lift. No real sign of anything entertaining to them in the line. I walked over to that exit point where all the fire and food is, and people exit through this weird inflatable tunnel thing. Almost looks more like something that they use in the snow. And behind it is one of their cleared out ski paths. It seems like half or less of the walk is in the wooded area in between the ski paths, and the rest of it was like red light rope that just kind of zigzagged down the hill for a long time, you know, right to the exit. And I'm watching some people come out of it, and they're all dead face, emotionless. If anything, just unamused and upset. You know, usually people come out of even bad haunts still laughing or at least talking to each other. This was weird. And it's a real shame, too. These are the people who ran Haunted Graveyard. It was one of the best haunts in New England for a very long time. It was really good.
Yeah, I mean, they could, you know, you never know. They could be just testing out the area before they really go, like, hardcore with it.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just not optimistic. And if that happens, it happens. It feels like a little too careless to me, though.
Did you just use the word optimistic?
Shut up. All right, and here's a review roundup. Here we have Israel Gonzalez, 4 stars. He's being very generous.
For being the first year doing this, it's not so bad, it has room for improvement. My recommendation is to spread the people out coming back down the mountain. The decorations are pretty good, again for being the first year. For going up in the lifts, should have some Halloween decorations up in the trees, light shows, props jumping out, etc. because the ascent is slow. Otherwise, nothing wrong about this location, lots of room to improve. The rest of the place is nice, the chairs, the fire pits, the food, the music, very nice.
That's exactly what I saw. Nothing on the way up the hill. People coming back down the hill, happy to bump into the fun little area with a nice fire, Adirondack chairs, beer tents, some food trucks, cornhole. It's almost like you want to get the hunt over with quick so you can go grab a drink and some grub, right. You know. But all she mentioned here were the decorations being pretty good for a first-year haunt. It's not a first-year haunt. It's supposedly people who have been doing this for a very, very long time.
Right.
All right. I'm not even going to bother with names. This is just a pile of bad reviews.
The best part was the ski lift ride up in the dark. It was kind of nice. The groups are too close together. They probably had about a quarter of the actors they should have had for scaring people. This was our first year going. We were so excited, and we will never ever be back, nor will we ever recommend it. Absolutely terrible.
Horrible! You can hear everything ahead of you. It would be better if it was spaced out more and the actors would be more active towards scaring us. Walking in my backyard at night is scarier than this. They need to do better. Don't waste your money on this.
Too busy, you can see everything coming. Didn't get scared. Could be fun if it was more spread out. Or if I was 5.
How do I put this haunted review into one word? Bad. 1.5 out of 10 stars. The actors were poor. There was nothing scary about walking down a ski mountain on an uneven, muddy trail. The scenes were subpar at best. Some of the scenes were literally taken from the former haunted graveyard at Lake Compounce, and they didn't take the good ones. I cannot stress this enough, don't waste your money and time on this. We were on top of the group in front of us, and the group behind us was on top of us. Between the poor quality actors, the subpar scenes, and the overall weight, this was not a good haunt.
Wasn't scary at all. Best part was the ride up on the ski lift. Wasn't scary at all. Best part was the ride up on the ski lift.
So yeah, there you go. And their Facebook page, no reviews, not even any mentions, which is bull crap. I think they just blocked people from reviewing.
Ooh.
And there you have it. Haunting at the Ridge. More like molding in the fridge. I have no personal reason to hate because I didn't actually see it.
Now, is this one of the... Because this is a different situation of where it was kind of sold out. Would this be one of the times where you would use the Hallowoosh card?
No.
No.
And don't ever call it the Hallowoosh card ever again. I could already tell from the reviews that already existed by the time I went that it wasn't that good. Mm-hmm. I could tell that the way that they were managing things, they were chaotic and they didn't have the right idea.
Yeah.
And so, and these people were also from a place that did thousands and thousands of people a night. Mm-hmm. There was no way that I was going to be, hi, can I speak to a manager? I'm on the internet. No, that was never going to... I wouldn't want that to begin with. I definitely didn't want it for that night.
I was just saying because it's not like you trying to like get in front of a long line, you know, it's just you couldn't get in, you know.
And I probably could have if I really wanted to, but there's no way it would have got me to the front of the line. It would have just gotten me a ticket. There was 2 other haunts that I wanted to go to that night that I didn't know if I could make it. I definitely wouldn't have if I went to this place. I wasn't that heartbroken about it, but hopefully they'll be able to figure it out and make it better. And with that, we can wrap up this episode. Thank you for listening. My next episode is number 6, my visit to Haunt on Eden.
Ooh.
In Southington, Connecticut. And have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yay.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.